Welcome back to Morning Live. In our final sport bulletin this morning, we talk about the SA20. It is the second edition of the competition, which gets underway tonight with two matches as South Africa's premier cricket competition after its resounding success last year. The second edition of the tournament is gearing to be bigger and better. To talk about this, we've joined by the head coach of the defending champions, the Sunrisers Eastern Cape, and also joining us is Chef Kamini Pather, whose talents stretch beyond the kitchen. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on Sports on Morning Live.
Morning.
Coach, let me start with you. Coming in as the defending champions of what was the inaugural SA20 last year, speak to me about the quality of the competition from your point of view, from what you experienced the previous SA20.
Well, last year it was a success. South Africa by storm. The public were so interested, so excited with every match. Here in that's how we have full dance. The band was pretty loud every day. That's after the last few months, everyone understood the website this year.
Adrian, we are having a bit of a problem with your sound quality there. We'll just hold you off for a bit while I chat to Kamini, and we'll try to fix that. Kamini, let's talk about the fact that the SA20 is not just about the action on the field of play, but also everything happening outside of the game. I mean, fans getting an opportunity to win themselves some goodies. Let's talk about what the atmosphere was like last year and what we're expecting this time around.
Look, I think even in the food world, whether you like to cook or you like to eat, there's a bit of something for everyone. And I think that's a lot like the cricket, because maybe you're not the biggest fan, but maybe you go to hang out with your friends. Maybe you go and just feel that South African vibe. Or this year, maybe you like to eat lollies. So I think there's going to be a lot there. It's going to be high energy, and I can't wait.
And of course, your job is generally feeding people, but I mean, you're working in an industry where a lot of the times you are around athletes. Talk to me about what some of your dietary recommendations are as well, just going into the SA20 and what people are generally consuming on the day.
I think because we're in the peak heat of summer in South Africa, people need to stay hydrated. And I think with that, water, obviously, I think most people are probably going to have a beer or two. And obviously the thing that we're featuring this year is the lolly. So I'm quite excited about this feature because you can either get it in lemon and lime or my personal favorite, which is pineapple. So I think just remember your SPF, remember some sunscreen, and remember to hydrate. There's going to be loads of food available throughout the day. So I don't think you have to tell many people to snack. So just keep going.
I'm one of those people. You also don't have to tell me to snack. I'll definitely be snacking. But talk to me about the offering that's going to be there, just in terms from your point of view of the food that you're going to be having.
I haven't really planned out this menu. I think the joy of being able to spend, some time watching some cricket, most people have gone back to work. It's an opportunity to revisit that holiday flavor. So don't overthink it. Take a walk around, enjoy the time with your friends and your family and see what's there, see what takes your fancy. What I like to do at food markets is just for a moment, sit back and people watch and see what people sort of come back with. And it's also a great opportunity to then speak to other people who are going to be at the cricket, because food offers you that opportunity to be like, what's that? Does it taste good? Where'd you get it from? And so it's like more connecting. And I think food is that vehicle for it.
Absolutely. I thought you were going to say, just sit back and then go have everything. But you're saying, just sit back and people watch. We do have the coach back on the line. Adrian, just perhaps let's go through that question again in terms of just the quality of the competition and the quality of the teams you'll be going up against. Your thoughts on that?
Well, last year showed the strength of the competition and the the enthusiasm of the public to support. And, I think it'll be even stronger this year. I look at every single team and it's quite intimidating when you look at the opposition, but they're also looking at us thinking we've even got stronger. So, I think it's a very, very strong competition. I also work in England and everyone was speaking about it last year when I got there after it ended. And so it really took the imagination of, to other parts of the world, and it's really exciting that we're about to start, the next season of the SA20.
Indeed, and I mean, you speak about how they're talking about the competition in England. Something else we saw with your team, particularly last year, is just the amount of leaders you've got in the team, because we had Aiden leading the team, Bavuma joining later on. Talk to us about the style of leadership you've got in the Sunrisers Eastern Cape side.
Well, it's quite an experienced team. This year we've got another guy called David Malan, who's actually born and bred in the Western Cape in Paarl. And then he became the number one international T20 batsman. So, we're very fortunate to have him. So he's got a wealth of international experience. But obviously we have Aiden as our captain. We've got Temba in the squad. And then we got, a host of other players like Liam Dawson this year who's joined us. And he's played for England and plays for Hampshire. And so, there's a number of players that are leaders, and I think we're quite an experienced squad, but we also have one or two youngsters. So we're hoping that they can then learn from these experienced players and become formidable players in their own rights in the future.
And speaking about experience, Adrian, we look at the experienced international players and coaches, Rulo van der Merwe as well as Dale Steyn, part of your team. How much does that add to the quality of your team in this competition?
Well, I think, you look around, every team have, very experienced players and coaches and support staff. And I'm just delighted I have such a good support staff with me. I've worked, this isn't the first time I'm working with a lot of these coaches. Russell Domingo has joined us as a batting coach. We've got Bakir Abrams as assistant coach, and then Dale Steyn on the bowling side. And Ryan Cook on the fielding side. And, Ryan is an international coach. Russell has been an international coach for over a decade, I would think. There's a wealth of experience, and I often have to sort of watch myself what I say because I feel they're judging me all the time. But, it's great to have such knowledge in our staff. But every team's the same. They all got fantastic coaching behind them. And also, on the playing front, there's an international blend, which is bringing in a lot of experience into the country. So our local players can only benefit from playing alongside them.
Absolutely love it and looking forward to it. Thank you so much for your time this morning, Adrian. Kamini, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to having amazing food out at the SA20 this year.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
That is Adrian, the coach of the Sunrisers Eastern Cape, the defending champions, as well as Kamini, whose expertise go way beyond the kitchen.